An obvious and universal statement is that sometimes it's a good decision to throw the ball away. We all agree, but some people throw the ball away better than others, and I don't mean more often, I mean they're actually better at it. I kind of want to talk about the art of the throwaway in this video, and so that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes it's obvious when you should throw the ball away, like a play like this. What's going to happen is that this is going to be the play, it's play action, they have a couple of Green Bay players running deep. The idea is you get Chicago players out of position. Rodgers decides which one he wants to throw to. Simple, right? And, after the ball is snapped, he looks over, and, there's two options on this play, and neither which are open. Maybe he could throw it deep, but there are two Chicago players in the area, and that's a very risky play. And over the middle, which is his first read on this play, that's triple coverage at this point. So for Rodgers, he's going to decide to throw the ball away. Makes sense, and that's what he's going to do. One thing he does a pretty good job of is just getting rid of the ball quickly, not waiting too long. Once he realized the play was over, he just threw it away. But for the most part, that is an easy decision. And I think that's what most people talk about when they think about throwing the ball away. They think about it as if you should throw the ball away to avoid interceptions. And while that is a part of it, to me, that's only a very small part of it. At this point, I'm sure some of you are thinking, okay, really, how can I make a 10-minute video about this? Isn't that pretty much all it is? If nothing's open, then throw the ball away. Yes, sometimes there will be a gray area, but for the most part, it's pretty easy to tell if you should throw the ball away or not. But there's actually a lot more to it than that. Like, take a look at this play, for example. It's again going to be play action, and he has a tight end who's going to start off blocking a Chicago player, but then he's going to run a route towards the bottom of the screen. This is a play that can work out pretty well. You kind of get Rodgers to roll out towards the bottom of the screen. It's something that can work. However, the left tackle is just going to do a terrible job on this block, which allows a Bear to get straight to Rodgers on this play. And, Rodgers, one of his biggest criticisms over his career, especially these past couple of years, has been he takes too many sacks. So you're thinking, okay, this seems like the time where you just hold on to the ball and go down. Especially with all the Chicago players in the area, him trying to get rid of the ball, it could be dangerous. If he throws one up there, it could result in an interception or a pick six. He could fumble it trying to throw it. Sometimes you might think that it's a better move to just, take the sack here. But Rodgers is going to do his best to throw this ball away. He throws it out of bounds, which, that guarantees that it's not going to be a terrible play. And so why do that? Why take that risk? I think that's something interesting to talk about. It's first down. So, losing 5 yards, that's not the end of the world, right? Well, let's look at another example. Let's take someone else, that's pretty good at football. We'll use Tom Brady. Tom Brady, what does he do in these situations? Take a look at this play. It's going to be a cover one play, and it's cover one man. That's pretty much what Brady knows. The one question is kind of what is the linebacker in the middle of the field going to be doing? There's really two things he's probably doing. Either he's going to be dropping back into coverage or he's going to be rushing the passer. It seems likely that it'll be one of those two options. And so, Brady, the route that he likes the best is Edelman's route, which is over the middle, and it makes sense. I mean, if this is going to be a blitz, meaning that the linebacker rushes to Brady, Edelman will be wide open, and with this, all he has to do is win his one-on-one matchup, but this is a very easy route to win a matchup against if it's one-on-one. So that's a very good situation. But of course, if it's not, and if it's going to be a cover one hole, which means that the New York player stays back and drops into coverage, well, then Edelman might not be open. There's still a chance he'll get open later in the route, but especially right away, he won't get open. So Brady looks there, and he now realizes, okay, this is a cover one hole, meaning Edelman probably not open here, should not make a throw in that direction, and there's contact, so not only is he not open now, but he probably will never get open. And, Brady, he's not really under pressure right now, but what is he going to do? I mean, there's a little bit of, the pocket's not going to last forever, but for the most part, he has another couple of seconds. However, he just simply turns and fires one towards the sideline. There's a receiver in the area. He knew that receiver was there, so he knew he wouldn't get called for, intentional grounding. But at the same time, he was not looking in any direction other than Edelman to try to make a throw. His second read on display was throwing the ball away. So again, the question becomes, why throw the ball away there? I mean, isn't it the whole point of football to try to move the ball down the field? You're losing a down. Why be so quick to get rid of a play like that? I mean, take a look at this one. It's another interesting example where he takes the snap, and in just over 3 seconds, if you look at him right now, his head is turned. What's happening is that, he's not really under pressure right now. 91 in the middle, he's about to generate some pressure. But again, Brady has another couple of seconds if he really wants to. But he looked downfield and realized that nothing is open, and he is not going to try and risk anything. Even though if you look at the two Bills defenders on the right, they both have their hands up trying to deflect a pass, but Brady has no intention of trying to complete a pass. He runs to try to get outside the tackle box and throws one away. And that one could have been ruled intentional grounding. He did get close to being outside the tackle box. It was ruled he was in the tackle box, but there was a receiver in the area. Didn't really look like there was one. I think maybe that could have been grounding. But at the same time, Brady is okay with an occasional grounding call. What he really wants to do is avoid a sack. Obviously, grounding is worse than a sack. That's 10 yards deep, whereas a sack is usually around 7 yards back. But at the same time, if you have 5 opportunities to either take a sack or throw the ball away, if you throw the ball away on 5 of them, but one of them gets ruled a grounding, well, that's still way better than taking a sack on all 5 of them. So it's definitely the correct decision to do that. And a sack is actually a lot bigger of a drive killer than a lot of people realize, which is why quarterbacks like Rodgers and Brady are so often throwing the ball away as opposed to trying to take these sacks, especially Brady. He does his best to never take a sack if possible. And a lot of the reason for that is simply because if you take a sack, let's just say it's first down and 10, you take a sack on that play, now it's going to be a second down and 17, and it's very difficult to get the first down. So, well, yes, you could potentially even turn the ball over if you make a throw that's a little bit dangerous. At the same time, getting a sack is actually not as far away from turning the ball over as a lot of people realize, especially on a first down. I think one of the players that we've seen in recent memory that's probably the worst at this is Marcus Mariota. I think a lot of people would say that, hey, NFL players, they probably all are good at this. Not even close to being the case. Mariota has been very bad at this, and it's a huge reason he's no longer a starter. Like on this play, it's going to be a cover 1 play. Those are the 2 routes that he likes. Both can get open against this coverage, and the actual coverage itself doesn't really matter too much. What we want to take a look at is how he's going to look and notice that neither of these guys get open. And so at this point, he has really 2 options. His 2 options are to just throw the ball away or to try and scramble and pick up some yards that way. He could also just make a terrible throw, but really 2 realistic options he's going to make. What he's going to decide to do is scramble, and it's a very bad idea. He ends up getting sacked, and it makes for a much longer field goal, and that's something that you really don't want to allow to have happen. I mean, getting that sack in that situation, it's just not good, and one of the reasons you see guys like Rodgers and Brady throw the ball away when they're sometimes not even under pressure is because pressure can happen quickly. You have 4 defensive linemen coming at you, sometimes more. You don't have that much time, and if you try and scramble around and figure something else out, more often than not, it's going to end poorly than positively. And that's when there's no apparent pressure coming. I think a lot of people, when they view throwing away, they think, okay, you throw it away when absolutely all of your other options have been exhausted, but you really can't do that. And sometimes guys don't even do that. Like, again, Mariota here, there's a one-on-one matchup right there that's going to be the key block, as it's going to get missed pretty badly. And so, right here, okay, immediate pressure. So Mariota, at this point, again, throw the ball away. You should always know where you can throw the ball away here, know where there's an eligible receiver. But instead what he's going to do is just try to run up, and he ends up getting sacked again. Just not a very smart decision right there. That was a first down and 10 in the red zone, and they were not able to get the touchdown on this drive, largely because of this sack. That put him to a second down and 15 where it's very difficult. And also, I'll show the other angle, because something that's interesting here is that he, while going down backwards, then thought about throwing the football. So even at that point, he moved his arm a little bit, then he's trying to throw it away. Even at that point, he's still trying to make something happen. He hasn't accepted the loss. A quarterback's job is to always make sure that they get the most yards out of any select play. Well, sometimes the most yards you're going to get is 0, and so you have to make sure you get that. So, listen, getting 0 yards on a play that would otherwise result in a sack, that's actually sometimes even better than getting 7 yards on a play that usually results in 0 because of how bad a sack can actually be. It really stalls a drive. But okay, all right. Fair enough. Mariota, we all know, isn't very good, but that's why he's no longer a starter, right? Well, I mean, that's certainly why he's no longer a starter, but there's another quarterback in his division that's widely considered a top 10 quarterback in the league. I certainly consider him, top 7 quarterback in the league. Really good player who is really bad at this, actually. And this is one of probably his biggest flaws as a player, and that's Shaun Watson. I think that this is the real, people always talk about how, the Texans are ruining him. They're going to get him so banged up. He takes so many sacks. A huge reason why he takes so many sacks is because he won't throw the ball away. Like on this play, there's going to be 2 players who are running up to the top of the screen. That's where he's looking. Again, I'm not paying too much attention pre-snap because of this video, but just letting you know that's where he's going to look. There actually is immediate pressure on the edge. He steps up in the pocket. Good job. And now he has multiple options. You could maybe try to fire it in there. These aren't plays that are not open whatsoever. So he could decide to take a chance if he wants to and gain some yards. Or he could just throw it away if he doesn't like those options. That's what he should do. And also, I think it's worth mentioning, this is a 3rd down right here. So a lot of people don't want to throw it away on 3rd down. And so Watson is going to decide to not throw it away on 3rd down. He's instead going to try to run like that. That's what he's going to try to do, run through the middle like that. But the problem is that this is just never going to work. It seems like there's a window where he can run through, but there's another Kansas City defensive player who's right over there who can run over and make a play. So Watson, he tries to run there. He has to now evade pressure. He's now going to continue running, and eventually he is going to get brought down. Watson is so good at trying to evade those guys, but there's 4 of them, and it's hard to keep track of where all 4 of them are. Really, you're much better off throwing the football or throwing it away on a lot of these plays because he just cost his team yards right there, which, affects the punt, affects the field position. Not that would have mattered in this game probably, but in some games it absolutely does matter. And, especially on like a 1st down or 2nd down, getting a sack can just kill a drive. I find it with Watson very interesting because Watson gets so much praise for how he's able to move around and, get outside the pocket, make these incredible throws, evade defenders. And while he can do that incredibly well, I do feel like he would often be better off just throwing the ball away because he already is so good. That's not what makes him good. That's something he can do, but it gets him in trouble just as often as it gives him a benefit. And at the end of the day, if you get a 1st down and then a sack, that's still significantly worse than getting 2 6-yard gains. So, sometimes it's better to, throw the ball away, I think. I think it's something that people don't really take into account as much as they should. And sometimes you got to throw the ball away. And it's not just to avoid interceptions, but it's also to avoid sacks. Listen, Brady, there's a reason why he throws the ball away when there isn't pressure sometimes, because a sack can be that deadly. And, really the reality is most NFL plays, if they don't work within 3 seconds, they're not going to work. And that's why I think that players should throw the ball away more often. That's kind of my thought. But what do you guys think about this video? Kind of a more unique video talking about a general topic as opposed to a general, just one player. But I had fun making it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.